Good morning, folks, and happy Saturday. Today is going to be day 73 working down here at the ranch. Let me tell you, I think it's going to be a warm one. It's still fairly early in the morning and it's already 90 degrees. There is a little bit of a breeze, so that helps. But the last time I was down, I put my grapple on my tractor here, and I was going to work with the grapple a little bit this morning. But I received a package this week, and I got my tooth bar in, so I got my tools laid out here. I am going to see if I can get this tooth bar on there and see if we can get it working and see how it works. But it's gonna be a warm one today, so I think I'm gonna try to do a little mixture of relaxing and getting some stuff done. But I've got a couple things I need to get done. I had to get me some spray paint, and basically I'm gonna mark all the trees that I want taken out of this area up here and the area down below. I think the guy's gonna come this week sometime and do that. I'm waiting for the well guy to get in touch with me. He said maybe Monday that he'll be down here to work on the well, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll hear from him this weekend. If not, some point in time next week, we should be getting the well in. I need to move a little bit of that dirt down at the bottom of the hill. I have a couple plans for it. We'll see how that goes. But I am going to try to plug away as long as I can today. I think it's going to be getting close to 100 degrees, but got down here early enough that I think we'll be able to get a few of these things done before it gets too extremely hot. And if it gets extremely hot, I'm just going to come down in the shade here and take it easy. I think the older I get, the less amount that I like the heat, that's for sure. It definitely takes its toll on me. But I hope everybody's having a good weekend. Hope everybody had themselves a good week. I'm gonna try to get this tractor up and out of here, and we're gonna try to see if we can get this tooth bar on here. Here we go. I cannot tell you how excited I was when the old FedEx man pulled into my driveway with my tooth bar earlier this week. I was really excited. I was ready to get down here, get that old tooth bar put on the old tractor here, get out there and start popping some trees up out of the ground. I was really excited. Well, as usual, that plan didn't work. I think the tip of that little step drill there is dull, as I poked that first hole pretty easily, and this second one, it's just spinning. It won't hardly even go in at all. So I either bent it or broke off the tip. Doesn't look like the tip's broke, it just looks like it's dull. I came this close to buying an extra one yesterday when I was at Home Depot, and I figured, well, surely it'll be enough to poke 2 holes in there. But I was only able to get one, so I'm either gonna have to go get another one today maybe, or wait until I come down Monday. I imagine everything will be closed tomorrow, but if I get out of here early enough today, I'll see if the hardware store is open. But all right, well, there goes that. I'm gonna put all this stuff away. Guess we'll move on to whatever game plan B is gonna be. I hadn't really thought past the first game plan, which was to get this tooth bar on here. I'd have to wait till another day. So get this stuff put away. We'll figure out what the next step is. All right, well, my neighbor stopped by for a minute, and he's actually going to the hardware store, so he's gonna see if they've got one of them little step bits, and if they do, I think I'm gonna run up and get one. But I was talking to him a little bit, and I guess he does truck driving, and he's been hauling a lot of transformers to all these data centers. I guess there's 2 or 3 going going in Texas at the same time, and then he said somewhere up by Tennessee they've got one going in, and I don't know, folks. I don't know. These data centers really make me nervous. I feel like they're not using them just so we can talk to our AI robots. If you think about it, everything is connected either by the internet or Bluetooth or satellites in the sky. I feel like we all watch Terminator, and I feel like we're watching the Terminator movie come to life here. All these humanoid robots that are being made, and I mean not like 5 and 10, like thousands and thousands of these robots are being made. I don't know, folks. I'm normally a little bit of an optimistic, but that kind of makes me a little bit nervous. I'm hopeful that that train doesn't go off the tracks. But again, we saw Terminator. Anyway, with all that being said, I'm letting my seat cool off on my tractor, and then we're going to go grab some dirt. I think I'm going to try to push my way back to the back just a little bit today. I think I'm going to take some of this dirt, fill in some of those gaps, those trenches back there, and see if I can fill them up so that I can get across some of those bigger trenches going towards the back. And we're going to see if we can get us a little trail started going back towards the back. We kind of started one a long time ago, but I was having trouble with the old DR Pro. So I think that's what we're going to work on for a little bit. He's supposed to call me and let me know if they have one of them bits there at the hardware store, and then I may go run into town and get one of those and get this tooth bar put on this tractor, since that was kind of my main plan today. So here we go.
Well, strike one on the old tooth bar project today, folks. I'll tell you what, it would have come in pretty handy because this dirt was pretty much rock hard. We still have not seen rain, and I couldn't tell you when. It did rain up here a little bit the other day, but when I say a little bit, I mean as little as it can possibly rain without actually raining. One thing or the other is going to have to definitely happen. Either as soon as I get that well up and running, I'm going to get my hose out there and give this old tractor a wash down, or I need to leave it out from underneath the carport when it does rain so it can get cleaned up a little bit. It definitely doesn't help that every time I do something, dust gets thrown up in the air and it gets dirtier. Other than it being a little bit of a bumpy ride back here, this trail was actually starting to come together nicely. Once I finally got that little trench filled in, it was getting a little bit easier to get that tractor over into that next little section. And I figured once I got into that next little section, I could actually get the brush hog out and start opening it up a little. It was also starting to get pretty hot back here on the old trail. There wasn't too much shade, so I got another bucket load of dirt, made it to the other side, and decided it was time to take a little break.
All right, well, we got a little bit of dirt back there in that little trench. I think probably one or two more buckets, and I should be able to get over that gap fairly easily. We'll see how it goes. But that camera I had on my head here felt like the sun was like directly shining right on that thing because it was burning the top of my head. So I came in here to get a little bit of shade for a minute. They're saying it's only 91, but I think it's hotter than that. The other problem, I forgot one of my SIM cards, so I got to switch these SIM cards back and forth. But I think we're gonna take a little side quest here. I'm gonna try to take the tractor down that mud road that goes up the south side of my property. What I'd like to do is see if I can get back there a little ways and then find a little spot to basically start cutting back into the property. I'd like to eventually get that road to where, you know, it doesn't flood out so bad. I mean, that's like at the very bottom of my things to do, but that might be the easiest path to get back towards the back of my property. So I'm going to take a break real quick, and then I'm going to strap that thing back on my head, and we're going to take a trip down that road, and we're going to see if we can find a place to poke through back there. And if nothing else, I may go ahead and just brush hog some of that up back there, so it's easier to get back there on foot too. But I'm gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna go do that. So here we go.
Well, for some reason, I thought this might be a good idea to see if I could drive the tractor down this old south logging trail here. But almost immediately, I realized there are a whole bunch of branches in the way. It's pretty tight quarters back in there. And of course, it seemed to me like everything on either side was trying to get me, including this spider web right here that was right in the middle of the road. So as you can see, I had to duck under that. But if you pay close attention to the next video, when I'm underneath the carport, my little guard, I guess it'd be where you'd put your roof if you wanted a roof on one of these things, pretty much caught that entire spider web, including the spider. But I got to this little point up here, and things got just a little bit hairy. And there wasn't really anywhere I could go on the left and right to get on a different track. I will show you here in a minute when we actually walk down this trail, but there was a big trench on the right-hand side, and there wasn't much of anything on the left-hand side. So my tractor was definitely getting very sideways right here. And it looked like up in front of me, it was only going to get a little bit worse. So I decided to back on out. I was meaning to record myself coming up through that little shortcut right there, but just like always, I had trouble with the camera. I wasn't sure if I was recording or not, so.
All right, I don't know what I got recorded of that. I can't remember when I turned the camera on and off, but we may go walk back there. There's a part back there where it's like this, and there's nowhere to go on either side. So I didn't want to keep pushing it on back there, but it's actually growing up quite a bit back in there. We may go walk down there. I'm gonna kind of give my neighbor a call and see where he's at, see if he found that bit or not, and kind of decide if I'm gonna go ahead and go to town and go grab that. But yeah, I wanted to drive back there, but there's like a real big slope that I was not feeling comfortable on, so there wasn't anywhere to go on the left or the right either. And I caught a hold of this big spider web at some point in time. I tried to go under it, but I forgot that big thing's behind me there, so it grabbed right a hold of it. Anyway, it's getting hot. I'm hiding in the shade as much as possible. So, all right, folks, let's take us a little hike. I had to go ahead and grab my pistola just in case we run across Bigfoot, the abominable snowman, which that would be interesting. Run across him out here as hot as it is. Let's see if we can make our way through this. This is where I drove the tractor through. This is where my grapple would come in handy, I think. Yeah. Oh, heads up. Okay, so yeah, let's see. Right in here, there's this big trench, and it had my tractor like sideways. And then right here, there's not much of a track over there, so it was like really leaning. I decided that probably wasn't a great idea. But yeah, we walked back here one day, and then it's been pretty much a mud road ever since. Let's see, like right through here, if I could get all that stuff out of the way, Looks like I could push back to about where I just put all that dirt in that hole back there. Try to walk slow so my camera's not bouncing. And this would be the thing if I could get the tractor back here, which I probably can. There's just not much room to maneuver back here. Not a ton of places that you can really get turned around too well. That looks like a game trail coming through there and right there. Look at that. That's a big game trail right there. I guess it gets really tight right there. That might be a place to think about. Oh, I see a spider web right in front of me there. I'm gonna leave that be. Let me get this spider out of the way here. All right, come over here, bud. There you go. There you go. I think it's kind of weird right there. It's like really thick right there, but straight through is really not that bad. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just kind of looking to see, but it does look like there's a couple places where if I were able to get the tractor back here, we could kind of push back in there. I'd like to have a nice little trail that kind of goes all the way back to the back of my property, but so far I'm kind of striking out. So I think we're gonna go back to where I was just putting dirt back there on that one trail. I may dump a couple more loads back there, and then see if I can go in there backwards with my brush hog and see if I can start opening up a pocket. I just heard something right there. I don't know, maybe that was me. That might have been me. I feel like this right here goes almost straight to the area where I'm dumping that dirt at right now. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's about the right distance back.
One of these days, folks, I'll have that southern log road cleared out. I feel like that's about strike 3 there, trying to get down there and find a good place to open up another trail. You may have noticed a truck backing out of my driveway when I went and got this bucket full of dirt. My neighbor had come back from town and had a surprise for me. So I went ahead and hurried on back here to get some more dirt laid back down on that trail. See if we could go ahead and bridge this gap just a little bit more. And once I was able to get a little more dirt in there, I realized it was getting much easier to get across that trench there. And that too had me a little bit excited because I was hoping that maybe I was going to be able to get over here on the other side of this trench, get the brush hog out and open it up a little bit. But I was still pretty excited about what the neighbor had dropped off to me. But it was also getting hot, so I was ready to head back to the camp and get a little shade.
All right, so the neighbor came by and he went ahead and grabbed me the little piece that I needed, a little step bit to bust through the rest of this bucket here so I can get this tooth bar on. So it's I'm not sure what's gotten recorded and what hasn't gotten recorded. I know there was a couple of times there when the camera was on when I didn't think it was on, and a couple of times it was off when I thought it was on. So imagine that. Anyway, I'm going to try to get this on there. If I can get this on there, we're going to try to see if we can pop up a couple of these kind of medium-sized trees, a little bit bigger ones than what I've been trying to pop up out of the ground. We'll see if that works, and then we'll see if I can get through one of these, see if I can find one of these root beds and see if I can punch through there with this tooth blade, because that, if so, that's going to be a huge help. Let's get this thing on here.
Did I mention how excited I was that my neighbor had brought me a step bit? Thank you, Harrison. I appreciate it. I was pretty positive I was going to be able to poke a hole through there, which I did get the hole poked through there, that's for sure. But yeah, for most of you that have been watching along for a while, you won't be too shocked to know that Plan B also did not seem to pan out the way that it was supposed to be. That's nothing really that shocking.
All right, so red flag number one is I tend to lose more tape measures than probably anybody I know. I don't know what I do with all my tape measures. I thought I had one in my truck, but I think I took it out the other day to use it. I never put it back into my truck, but anyway, my other reality is I'm not great at measuring things like this bucket here. I don't think I missed by 2 inches, but I think this thing's about 2 inches too short. If I think if I can get a bolt that's probably another ½ inch longer or maybe a full inch longer, I think I can get this thing on there, but it's not lining up. So there's that. Kind of struck out on the old tooth bar today, but I think I can find a bolt that I can basically bolt this thing on there. But anyway, with all that being said, no tooth bar today. It's a little bit after 2 o'clock. It is still pretty hot, but I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna get one more bucket of dirt down there, and we're gonna keep working on this trail back here. I think if I can get in there just a little bit farther, I can kind of start using my brush mower to open up a pocket back there. And I think once I can start getting a pocket opened up back there, we're going to be able to start kind of looking for another direction for the trail to go towards the back of the property. So take a quick break, and then we're going to go get some more dirt. We're going to work that trail a little bit. Here we go.
Well, strike 2 or 3 on the old tooth bar there, but eventually I'll make it up to the hardware store and I'll get myself a longer bolt. But I was still pretty excited to get back here, finish off getting this little bridge taken care of, and getting in here and starting to go ahead and open this up with the old brush hog. As I'm sitting here editing this video, they're calling for scattered thunderstorms tomorrow. And I actually really hope that they're wrong, because I'm still pretty excited about this little area back here.
All right, so we pushed in here a little ways. I'm gonna see if I can open up a pocket right in here and then give me a little bit more room to move around so I can open up a little bit more of it. So here we go, we'll see what happens.
I decided to go ahead and go in here head first, folks. Mostly because I wasn't sure if I could get my brush hog backed in there across that little bridge. But there's definitely some thick brush back here. There's definitely some big trees back here. But honestly, other than getting slapped by this tree a couple of times, it really wasn't too bad back there. I'm definitely going to have to bring back the old DR Pro and open up the edges just a little bit. You'll be able to tell here in just a second that we were able to get in here and open up quite a bit of space. So it'll be a little bit easier to maneuver the tractor in here. All right, so kind of got us a little bit of a trail going back to here now.
a little bit wider. I've got this big stump right here that is not wanting to come out, so I have to deal with that for a minute. My first plan was to go that way. That was when I had the brush mower. That didn't quite work out, so kind of got this opened up. What I may end up doing right now before I do anything else is coming back and filling in these ruts with some dirt. See if I can get a little bit smoother back here. I think my plan is to try to go this way. I think there's one tree right here. I should be able to pop that out. But I think if I go that way, I've got a little ways before I get to any real big trees. There's some pine trees right there. I don't know, 25, 30 yards away maybe. And I eventually want to try to clip this little corner right here, make it a little bit easier to get through. I got a feeling that tree right there is going to have to come down. But we may wait until I have my tooth blade, see if I can pop that tree out of there. Here we go.
I think if I wouldn't have been so hot, folks, I probably would have gone ahead and stayed down here a little bit longer. But I'd been there quite a few hours. The sun was kind of beating me up, and I was kind of ready to go on home, especially after getting defeated by the tooth bar. But I am definitely hoping that it doesn't rain tomorrow, because I would like to get down here and continue opening up the trail. This has been a lot more promising than any other time that we've tried to open a trail.
Well, folks, I ain't gonna lie, I've about had all I can stands, and I can't stands no more. It is hot. Tractor's actually getting a little low on gas too, so I need to bring me down some gas probably tomorrow. But day 73, it didn't seem like much of anything went as planned, but I feel like if I had a dime for every time things didn't go as planned, I'd probably have this property and all this other stuff paid off by now. So it's par for the course, I suppose, out here at the ranch. So I think this is where that like stray or whatever it was, coyote or mangy fox or whatever it was, came across the trail a couple times last week when we did the trail camera. So, you know, we used to have a camera sitting in here. This is actually where the pigs came through, was through here. But if I can figure out how to get that little thing right there cleaned up, this won't be so bad. I need to kind of keep plugging away at the edges here and just get this opened up a little bit more. But for the most part, I think I should be able to kind of keep working these edges just a little bit. Probably at some point in time get back here with the little DR Pro and open up a little bit more of the edges. But I think my plan is to push this away and see if we can keep continuing a trail heading towards the back of the property. I think not too far that way is that little road, the little southern road there that we walked down earlier. So it'd be nice to be able to punch a hole out through there, keep heading back towards the back of the property. I think at some point I can go this way. There's a couple pretty big sized trees in the way. And again, I don't want to cut down all my trees. It's about the only thing giving me shade right now. But I think I can go that way and keep punching another trail. But that's kind of the plan. I'd like to get a couple trails going out here. Possibly find a little pocket to open up for a little camping area, little hangout spot, if you will. But as for today, that's going to be it. We didn't get everything done we wanted to do, but we got a few things done, so that's definitely a plus. The heat definitely kicked it up a few notches. So I hope everybody's having a great weekend. I appreciate you watching along with me. We will catch you next time.